A question to my fellow mixed race peeps out there. When did you realize that your white parent should have never have had children of color? I'll go first. My mother has 3 children of color. I'm the youngest, and the like turning point, like a lot of stuff that's happened when I was younger, I didn't realize it was problematic until I got older. But this one hit me straight in the face. My sister, her kids, and my mom and I, we were on our way to go see my grandmother. My mom's radio station went to commercial. I changed it to the hip hop station of our town. She then proceeds to slam her hand on the radio to try to change it and said, and I quote, "I'm not listening to that nigger shit."
My white mom told me that she used to literally pray and hope that the whole entire time she was pregnant with me, that I would not come out with an afro. Because if I was born with an afro, she wouldn't know what the fuck to do with my hair. She don't know how to do black people hair. And I will say, she 100% got what she wanted, because I definitely don't have an afro. And whenever she would get extremely mad at me, she would tell me that I'm ugly just like my father. I know that she doesn't think I'm ugly. I just don't like how every time I remind her of a black man.
Dear black people, do you not see how harmful this is? Like, do you not? Let me give you some examples. You don't know what it's like to grow up mixed. Because you don't realize that a lot of us deal with racism since day one all the time. And these are supposed to be with people that love us, aka our families. A lot of people on my mom's side of the family were Aryan Nation skinheads. I didn't know what the fuck that was as a kid. And I didn't understand why everybody looked at me different, or why there was certain people in my family that just would never say hello to me or my dad or my mom because they were disgusted. And I didn't understand that as a kid. I didn't get it. I thought I had something on my face the way they were looking at me. You know how hard it is to nonstop be told, like, wow, you have your mom's face with just dark skin, with a look of disgust on their face while they say it, and not know why they feel disgusted to say such things? It's confusing. You gain a complex and you just don't feel beautiful. No matter how gorgeous you are, you change yourself. I straightened my hair every single day in high school so that people wouldn't run their fingers through my hair or try to pull my afro when I walked in the hallway. Like, there are so many things that we did to adjust to suburbia. Or how about going to school with my siblings who are white and I'm not, and everyone asking me if I was adopted from Africa as a joke because I'm the only black one? You know how much that fucking sucked? Like, nonstop being denied my own mother being my mother because of my skin color. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy. And then I get to college and people that look like me all of a sudden are denying my blackness, telling me I have to say I'm biracial and I can't say that I'm black. And that's the first time your blackness was ever denied, because your whole life that's all you've been seen as.
So for those of you that don't know this part of my story, I'm going to fill you in. I was given up for adoption when I was 6 months old by a Caucasian woman. And yeah, she was dating black men. And they found out about it and they were all too unhappy. When I was adopted, I was given this whole story about how my mother struggled with, this is my biological mother, struggled with giving me up for adoption and really, just contemplated keeping me. And my entire life, I held on to that story. Well, come to find out, she did not contemplate keeping me. As a matter of fact, they waited 6 months to see if I darkened up. And apparently my very African-American features came, shining through, and they were not able to keep me. So I relate so much to this story because let me tell you, there's one thing to be given up for adoption, and there's another thing to find out that one of the main reasons you were given up for adoption is because you were black. A year and I believe a day or so after I was born, she gave birth to another child, which was a boy. And she gave that child up for adoption as well, who was also half black. So let me tell you, especially the 70s and 80s are filled with adoptees, biracial adoptees, that, women went out and had relationships. I guess some of them maybe were in love, some of them weren't, but had relationships with black men. But they weren't able to keep the baby. So not only did that child have to grow up with the understanding that they were adopted, but they also had to grow up with the knowledge that their identity was going to be a struggle.
being raised by a white mother left me very ignorant, but also anti-black for many years in my life. And that's not something like I say with pride at all. I say it with a lot of shame. Now, I know that because of how I was raised, like, and because my dad didn't do his job as a black man, like being married to a white woman, that I guess it wasn't like my fault as a kid. But the more like work that I'm doing, and the more, I don't know, I stepped away from like my mother, the more that I am just sad, because I see all these ways that I was just being me. Like, I was just being the black biracial daughter that she had, but she made me shrink myself and made me fit into the spaces she wanted me to fit into, so that she was comfortable and so that I made everybody else comfortable. And one of those things was like not wearing a bonnet like outside of the house or anything like that. Like, I remember we would like, you know, go to the stores and stuff, and if she would see especially a black woman like with her bonnet on, like she would say like such awful things that I'm not going to repeat. And I remember as a kid never understanding like, what's the problem with that? Like, what is the problem? But the more that her hate and ignorance was said to me, the more that when I would go out and I would see like a black woman or a person of color with a bonnet on, I would think like, why are you coming out of the house like that? Like, that's not appropriate. The more that I wear and protect my hair in and outside of the home, the more my curls stay good and like stay healthy, not good, stay healthy. And that there's no shame, and there's nobody coming up to me saying anything, there's nobody looking at me funny. It was just my mom's own internal hatred for women of color, and the fact that she felt so confident to and proud to say those things around her biracial daughters, that influenced my brain to think that it was an issue when it wasn't an issue. And I always knew it was an issue, but when your mother that raises you continues to be so toxic, I guess your brain starts to change. But it like makes me so sad, because I spent so many years not protecting my hair outside of the home because of what my mother said, and allowed myself to internalize that instead of just being proud of who I was and learning from other women of color on how to protect my hair.
Okay, I need to know if other people experience this shit other than fucking Asian people, because my friend just texted me. I'm not gonna tell you what she fucking said, but she just explained a situation that her mom said about her fucking baby, and then got me thinking about the shit my mom has fucking said about my goddamn baby. Like, my mom constantly keeps fucking telling me to pinch her fucking nose. Like, when I was little, they would fucking pinch my nose and go like, yeah, yi sam say look chuck, but they would count to 10 in Chinese and pinch my fucking nose so I'll have a smaller fucking nose.
It is irresponsible as fuck on both sides to get together and procreate and create a child knowing that the non-black side of your family does not condone or is racist. It is irresponsible on the black person's party that gets with said non-black person, because you should know better. Stop trying to chase your non-black fetishes and understand what you are putting your child through and what you are signing up for. We get on here all the time and I preach family planning. It is irresponsible as fuck on a regular level to get with someone knowing they have a shitty family. Number two, when you add a racial layer to that, it becomes even more irresponsible when you knowingly procreate with that non-black person knowing that their family is racist or anti-black tendencies. For the non-black person who decides to get with said black person, then bring said child into said situation, it was irresponsible as fuck on your behalf. It is irresponsible on your behalf because you know your family. And then you think love is going to stop that child from it. Now that child's going to have an entire side of their family that they can't be around, that's going to pinch their nose. And Shawty grew up with that family and they did it to her. So she's going to have a child and then bring her child into that same area and family, and they're going to do it to them. She know how it felt to have that, but she wanted to go in the name of love and create a fucking child and bring them into that situation. I know y'all like to think, well, I can just keep my child away from my family. But then what is like, we always preach community. So you're going to go out and have a child with a family knowing how they are. Or on the other side, you're going to go out and have a child with someone with a family and you see how they are. This shit is irresponsible on both parties, bruh. And the only person that suffers in all this is the child. Y'all be selfish when it comes to these children. That type of shit is selfish. And you go to her page, look at them comments, you see all them non-black women that's sitting there talking about, oh yeah, my family does this, the white girls that got mixed kids, and oh no, no, and like, bruh, that shit is irresponsible. Sure, you can't help who you love, but you can help who you make a baby with. But specifically speaking to the Asians, because that was an Asian chick video, and most of the majority of her comments was Asian girls. This is why people like in her family seem to think like this. Watch this clip.
If you could be any race other than the one you are, which would it be?
White. So I'll get white privilege.
If you had white privilege for a day, what would you do?
Oh, that's a hard question, actually. What would I do? Honestly, just live.
You have Asian people who typically out-earn their white counterparts who still would love to be white, get close to whiteness, be in white proximity, but don't even know what they would do with it. Just live.